routine, I want to touch on PSA, right? So we're fortunate today to have two of the four founders that are with us. So I want to know exactly what PSA has done for you personally.
Right.
And then we'll go ahead and bring these guys in to speak a little bit more about the program.
No, PSA is my family. I would say like one thing they taught me was to do everything the right way. And I think they do a good job on letting you know like how college would be. I was practice are different from high school practices. If you don't run and touch the line, everybody is paying for it. You really pay attention to every single detail, teach you how to work and how to do things right, not only on the court but also in your life. Because if you're not good at school, they will be on your back. And if the coaches are on your back, your teammate will be on your back. Like, hey, listen, you need to do your homework. Do it right. So I think one thing PSA teach you is how to be a good person on and off the court, and it's something that I can't stress enough. Because every single kid coming to the program, they leave and they are a changed person, 100%.
Yeah, and that is a huge thing, though. But PSA does a phenomenal job, coaching staff to the founders. They really do. And this has now been going on for a long time. All right, so right now we're actually going to welcome Jason Ford, one of the founders of PSA Cardinals. We wanted to bring you in first and foremost to say thank you for being a part of this special journey. And I really envy what you do. And your program has been phenomenal. So can you just give us, I guess, a brief background on how PSA came about and what the program means to you personally?
Sure, no problem. First of all, thank you for having me on, and pleasure to be here for Frank and as he's going through this milestone in his life. But PSA, which stands for Pro Scholars Athletics, is essentially what we call a sports-based college preparatory program. And it's all about creating these moments for guys like Frank, like finding Frank and guys like him as early as possible and helping guide them through their high school and college, middle school and high school careers so that they can get to this moment and be able to choose the school that they want to go to based on the work that they put in, right? So a big thing that we always talk about is like owning our destiny and figuring out what those things are and what they mean, particularly for the young men that we're dealing with, given the kind of world that we live in right now, right? So for, guys that look like me and Frank, opportunities are not something that we can pass up. We have to make sure we're ready for them and do those things. So the creation of the program was really about, our experiences growing up as young men as well, loving the game of basketball and understanding that it's not just a sport, it's a learning tool, and how you can teach a lot of the values and virtues of manhood and just being a good citizen through sports, and then also making sure they're getting quality experience and a quality education. So that's basically the impetus of how we started things. We started about 12 years ago, myself as long as Terrence Munch Williams, Justin Ware, and Andre Charles. And it started out as just helping out in the after school program, volunteering, and kids that wanted to learn how to play. And surely as they got better and, kind of bought into how we were doing things, we saw it as an opportunity to kind of expose them to greater academic opportunities and then help guide them through their middle school and high school careers so they can get to this point.
Wow. Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing because it's definitely working.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, just meeting Frank for the short time we've met is a phenomenal person. Seems like on and off the court, which I think is what you guys, strive for. So
one more question. To the athlete that hasn't reached, PSA yet in the greater New York area, but potentially looks at you guys and says, you know what, I want to play for that program. What is something specific that you look for in that athlete?
It's a good question. Outside of like physical attributes and all those type of things and being able to play, it's one, being willing and ready to put in the work. You have to do the parts, the ugly, the non-sexy things, and learn to value that process. So one, being willing to listen, being coachable, being willing to pay attention to detail and know that the little things matter, and wanting to put forth that effort is something that we feel is important. And then once we see that and when we exhibit that, then it's a lot of like, all right, you're going to make mistakes, but now it's like, how do you go through these? Right. So we talk a lot about things in terms of the differences between reacting and responding. Right. So I predominantly work with like the middle school kids. So a lot of it is kind of teaching them is like, hey, this translates in a certain way. You can react to things in a certain way, but it may limit you. But if you understand how to play the game and know what's going on, you can respond to it differently. And that's what we're challenging people to do, because I'm not coaching that kid for the game that they're playing that time. I'm coaching them for a decision that Frank is about to make in 4 or 5 years from the time we have it. So, but a lot of those lessons you got to teach them when they're 7th and 8th grade, not when they're 11th grade or a senior. So just being around families that are willing to listen, really to kind of like enjoy the journey, so to speak, and stuff like that. So that's what we're really looking for outside of like obviously the talent and the acumen for playing basketball, but you have to want to do some of this stuff, because for some of our families, right, it's taking them out of their comfort zone a lot and being willing to be outside of their comfort zone. So it may mean going to a boarding school. It may mean you need to learn how to study more and whatever, but you have to want to do those things. And if you don't want to do those things or don't want to take shortcuts, you're going to have a hard time in life, but you're definitely going to have a hard time with us.
Wow. No, it's great life stuff. And we actually always talk about the you like the idea of it, or do you really want to do it?
Right.
And when you really want to do something, you're willing to do the uncomfortable stuff. And that's actually the message of our No Snooze podcast here. So it ties in so nicely.
Yeah.
Mike, you have anything for Jason before
I was just going to say, part of me thought that he was asking you for himself to try to get recruited, because he just can't give it up.
My days are over, man.
I'm like, Dave, hang it up. It's over.
My days are over. Jason, thank you.
Yes,
no problem.
thank you very much.
Guys for having
Thank
me
you.
again. Yeah. All right.
Congratulations on a great program.
All right, guys. So we're back. We actually took a quick pivot because Isaac Green, one of the assistant coaches for the 17U program, is now here. But we definitely did want to shout out Terrence Munch Williams. But Isaac has now stolen your spot. So
Love that move, Isaac. I'm a fan already. It's a great move.
So Isaac, quick, I want to know what I guess was the best thing that you've seen on the court of Frank, and how it's applicable to life in general versus just basketball.
That's a good question. I'd have to think about it.
That's all right.
Yeah, take your time.
I mean, I think the thing that stands out most about Frank, which is why I'm struggling to pinpoint a specific example, is just because of the effort that he's consistently giving, whether that be a practice, whether that be a walkthrough in the hotel or a game. He's always putting himself inside a game, and understanding that everything he does is a reflection of the name on the front of his shirt, and that's for 3 years has been the Pro Scholar Athletics. So it's really been a blessing to see Frank mature. I mean, I remember I was just talking to Mark about it, that I remember when Frank came over to the United States, and it seems like that was yesterday, and now all of a sudden he's sitting here about to commit to college. So just proud of him. I'm sure everybody that's sitting here is just proud of how far he's come.
Well said. That was a good answer. Good thing you thought about it. And the thing you touched on is, it seems, like I said before, when you meet Frank, he's got a joy. He enjoys this process. He's embracing everything. So that's instilled by stuff that you guys do every day, because he's embracing the whole process. So
All right. And you actually, mentioned the name. So Mark Carter, shout out to Mark Carter and the entire family.
Yeah.
Not only are they live here today, but they happen to be my greatest family friends in life. And exactly what they do in life is what I see put into Frank.
Yeah.
Right. And that whole culture, that family dynamic is something that has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I love that about
and the
PSA
pride,
Cardinals.
right? The
Yeah,
pride.
said it better.
Right.
Yeah, the pride of the shirt too.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Isaac, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
So this interview is just getting better and better. We are blessed with a live audience, and Coach Isaac happens to be here. Welcome to the podcast, Coach Isaac.
Hey, thank you so much, man. It's a pleasure being here, man. What a great day. This is a blessing. This is a blessing. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Yeah, we're honored to be a part of it. It's been a blast.
Yeah. So give us, I guess, what PSA means to you, and really what your favorite part about being a part of the culture is.
I just want to say one thing before I get started.
Yep.
My passion, my love, my desire for these kids in PSA program is unbelievable. So I get really emotional. So just bear with me. But I'm going to walk through this with you guys. But it's just that passion, that drive for success, for what we do for these kids. That's unbelievable. Great Great role model right here. Couldn't ask for a better person, person to represent our program right here. Academically, character, class, finesse, speak 3-4 different languages. Yo, this is what's up. This is really what's up.
Thank you.
Got me all fired up. I'm about to cry over here.
I'm getting
Can't do
emotional. I
this
got the
to me.
chills over here now. No, but on a serious note, so PSA, how did you get involved in it? And what's your favorite part about the culture, man?
What we do, the product that we put out, the young men that we raise, as soon as they walk in the door, the culture that we provide for them as teaching them how to be pros, this just didn't come overnight. This was a project. As Coach Munch always say, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Wow,
and
I love
we
that.
take that culture to heart. And each and every one of our kids that we bring into the program, we program them to be successful in any aspect of their life. And that's what life is all about.
Right.
And you know what's great about it? This young man right here will give back to the community. They come back, they give, and they're just passionate for what we have done for them as young men.
Wow.
Thank you.
Frank, putting you on the spot. What's your favorite thing about Coach?
Oh man. As soon as Coach Ike walked in the gym, he got everything started. He got everybody started. I like the energy, double clap, baby.
I like that. I
Double
heard that before, the double clap.
I gotta call him. I gotta call him in the morning when I'm a little sluggish when I'm putting the suit on.
Definitely.
Your energy is infectious.
It doesn't matter what time it is. Coach Ike has always the energy. Doesn't matter what time. 1 a.m. in the airport, he always has the energy.
And that's something that we try to teach our kids, man. No matter what time of the day, those lights are going to shine. And we want our kids to be prepared for those bright lights. And I tell you right now, you got one ahead of you, bro. These lights are going to be bright, and I know he's prepared to shine, Frank.
Thank you.
I love you, man.
Thank you. Love you too.
I tell you, this kid has one of the best work ethics in our program. We have a lot of great kids, but let me tell you something. That motor never stops. That motor never stops. Frank takes it from the one level to the next level every time he walks on that court, and that's what you call a pro.
Thank you.
Man, I wish we had a game for you to go to play right now. To go watch.
Yeah.
Got me all
Coach,
fired up.
Coach, we thank you, and we thank you for what you do with Pro Scholar Athletics.
Thank you so much for having me, and
Thank
it's a
you.
pleasure being here, Frank. I love you, and God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Love you too.
Double clap. Everybody, double clap. Ah!